Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is Friday. Friday. So glad to still be breathing on a Friday for 5 minutes on Friday. 5 minutes on Friday. We go live between 8:15, 8:30-ish. And offer 5 minutes on Friday. These are just something for you to think about. If you journal, you can use these as your journal prompts. And as always, feel free to share the 5 minutes on Friday. So I put in the questions. What is your testimony? What is your story? How did you survive the storms? I spent the majority of my childhood in my father's hometown of Somerville, Tennessee, with my uncle, the late Elder James Moore. And he was a pastor of a Kojic or a holiness church. So a lot of times we went to services, and these services were called testimony services. And if you've never seen a testimony service, it's when someone gets up. They usually start their testimony with a song, or they may say, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life. And they go on and they share their story. They share their testimony of how God brought them through. They share their but God story. I recall seeing my auntie, missionary Fannie Moore, the late missionary Fannie Moore, Mother Moore, getting up and sharing her testimony and her story. And it got me to thinking about how we don't do this any longer. How, I don't know, if sharing our story or our testimony became seen as bragging, not being humble, but those testimonies helped the person who was sharing it and also help somebody who was hearing it. Because I can say, excuse me, even today, recalling those testimony services helped me when I start to encounter the storms of life. So what's your story? What's your testimony? As we're entering the fall season and the holiday season, there may be gatherings with family. And some of the family does not know the story. They don't know the history. For my grandchildren, they never met my grandmother, their great-great-grandmother. So I need to tell them the stories. So what I am doing, and I challenge us to do, is start sharing our stories. I have this book called The Book of Me, and it allows me to put information about my father's family and my mother's family and about just in generally our upbringing and how life was for me in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, things that they watch now on TV. So I challenge us to share our stories with others. Our stories are healing to us, and they can be healing to someone else. Those stories are how the storms you encounter and how you made it over. Have an amazing day. Share your stories. Share your family's story. Have an amazing day. And during the day, don't forget to just breathe. Be blessed, everyone.